What's happening, Green Hill Radio New World Order News? Welcome to the Recap the Week show. I guess I'm calling this now. Or whatever. I don't know how often I'll do this. A little sort of like week recap. But, yeah. Sometimes it's just good to make a video on the stuff. So, kind of follow-up update on the Trump deep dive situation, Epstein file list, dealing with the libs, lib trolling, live stream, live chat report. Because in like the last videos I was talking about the average MAGA people's, like I just noticed this phenomenon. Voice is a bit rough. I'm going to talk a bit slow. You can fucking hit the little speed up button on the YouTube thing if you want. But sort of phenomenon that I've noticed with the libs and the MAGA people in the comment section. Fuck bitch. The last live chat I was in just like moments ago, man, that really sucked for a few days there. For like a week there, I want to say, it really sucked. Being MAGA on YouTube and fucking, like, I don't mean being like a conspiracy theorist, truth movement guy like myself, but being legit, being MAGA in the sense of being one of these milquetoast random conservatives that really doesn't understand the whole New World Order shit, but they see what the left's doing, they don't like it, and so they picked Trump. Guys that would have been a George W. Bush supporter years ago. Been saying this, I think a few people have either caught on. I don't know what kind of reach I have. It's kind of crazy if I think about it. I've got members of the group with thousands of subscribers. I've got multiple fake profiles that have thousands of people in them, and those people have thousands of friends, and who knows what is said about me in comment sections, or where the whole, whose doorstep the whole Green Hill Radio thing has landed on over time. What different people that have made references to it have seen of it, because like a lot of Facebook groups just post the same shit over and over again. And I have my like daily posts I like to do, just because it's like, I don't know, it's kind of routine, it's kind of something to look forward to, it's kind of like, it feels like tradition almost at this point. Daily example of some human art being better than AI art, with the caption, "Fuck AI art, man over machine." daily example of an electric vehicle being garbage and your daily dose of gas. Fucking whenever I see something that's politically incorrect and I get the opportunity to post like, stay politically incorrect, America, that kind of thing. Anyway, so what I'm seeing in the live chats, you got kind of like, you got like the milquetoast conservatives. I mean, before the whole, I want to call this the Epstein hesitation, because that's really what it was. This fucking hesitation to release the shit that I've seen in these videos of Trump. This hesitated reaction. And so the left is super ignorant. They have no idea the backstory or context behind all of this. So all they know, they're hearing our chatter because their fucking mainstream media doesn't report this shit. And I don't know, it's just real gross. It's real gross. I said that in the live chat. Like, you watch, you gotta jump in those live chats, guys, when I share a fucking live stream and I'm like, yeah, join me in the chat. I don't know, I gotta screen record it. I think I tried that and screen recorder wouldn't work. Or maybe it did, and there was something else out there. I'm gonna try that again. Just to give an example of like the phenomenon of what happens. Because, like, I get in the live chat, and despite my dyslexia and urge to spell phonetically, because I fucking hate the English language, if I was president, I'd change a few things. I'd get rid of this PH making a sound. That's bullshit. The fuck rid of that. What are we even using that for? No fucking reason. Spell phone with an F. A lot of shit like that pisses me off. It just irks my brain. And then so then you get to like more complicated words that you don't use as often, like kernel. I couldn't spell that out loud right now. It's so stupidly fucking spelled. It's a French word that we stole. Anyways, I'm getting off track. It's not even live. It's early in the morning. But I feel like my early morning videos are more authentic because I don't have a plan. I'm just like, whatever the random shit is that comes to my pre-caffeinated brain. Speaking of live streams, come on guys, get me up to 55 subscribers so I can live stream over here. Alright? Because feel like this would be a much better format for me to, like I said I was going to live stream on Gamers Theory 101. I still plan on doing that. I need that 101 subscribers though. And a new copy of War of the Monsters if I intend on having War of the Monsters. Yeah, go check out Gamers Theory 101. We're up to 90 subscribers now. That's fucking nice. Sweet. You know. And thank you to everybody that subscribed. It's a little Green Hill Radio news broadcast here. So yeah, moving back. Like got some Trump hair going on. Let me like Trumpify this hair. Feel like if I can have it go down like on the sides a little bit. Wait, no, it's gonna like whoosh back on the sides. It's gonna like whoosh back on the sides, and then it's gonna go wicked forward, and then you gotta like bend it so that it's like this. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be, look. Oh my goodness. We're basically there. We're basically there. Fantastic, amazing, good stuff is going to happen. Yeah. Pre-Epstein nonsense. Pre-Epstein hesitation. So yeah, like I've said before, and I'm gonna try to boil these points down a little bit more in this video than I did in the last video, since the focus of the last video was these points. But I really feel like Trump didn't expect for there to be this demand for the Epstein files, and that like he was going to be able to sit there with this hot potato to the end of his administration, pull the pin on that. And as I said in the live chat of some random guy's channel 15 minutes ago, let the next asshole the New World Order puts in office deal with the economic collapse. Now, one idea I had, you know, with the stock version of ChatGTP that I have access to, since I'm not going to fucking pay for that shit, because I'm too broke, like and subscribe. I don't know how you could do this, because there's too many variables. But it's something I want a simulation on, or I want to find a video. An economist or a team of them needs to get together and make a video on this. The impact of, say, 1,000 prominent business people being exposed in the list, right? And Alex Jones, in his the last show I posted, which is like the second to last, the third to last one, there's 2 new episodes. But the one I posted last night, if you go on Green Hill Radio, yeah, this is like a motherfucking Carmen Sandiego whole thing. You can't just, you're like on the outer rim, the periphery. If you're here on YouTube, you really want the full story behind stuff and the full context, you gotta go on Facebook. Wildly enough, I know Mark is sitting there detecting some positivity in the fucking force for once, going, wait, did somebody actually recommend to people that they go on Facebook? Yeah, Mark. Yeah, so don't fuck it up. But, yeah, because, like, I mean, I'm trying to force myself. It's you just get kind of used to your fucking routine. It's really not about forcing myself. I'm trying to get off the, like, I have a backlog of stuff. I want to incorporate more BitChute things, but for content creators and just normal YouTube viewers, the Green Hill Radio show is sort of a reflection of the politic online, because the majority of the content, like, I mean, the amount of information that is conveyed on that group, as hard as it hits, without a team of people, like, I'm not Alex Jones with a team of people. Without a team of people, I'm just me by myself. I got a few friends that I get on camera and interview every once in a while on different shit. And I don't do that often enough. I, like, literally have friends that have hit me up and been like, fucking, hey, when are we gonna do that fucking, you know, thing? And trust me, there's shit that I wanted to post, like, fucking, like, I mean, my old phone had like 1,000, 2,000 fucking screenshots saved up on it. There's shit I wanted to post fucking ages ago. Then I lost that phone. And it's funny, and I've mentioned this a couple of times, respect to whoever the fuck found my old phone. That person was forcefully woken up when they fucking, oh, I wonder what's in this old phone. oh my god, Fauci was like removing the eyeballs from beagles and trapping their heads in little tents and filling it with parasitic worms and oh my goodness, Bill Gates has been banned from India for paralyzing hundreds of thousands of children. What is going on? You know, just thousands of shit that heavy because like as much fucking articles, like I've explained this before. See, now we're going deep dive, Green Hill Radio, fucking long-term overarching explanation of shit. Because I feel like it's kind of fucking necessary. I was hampered and limited by this fucking 10-minute video bullshit on fucking BitChute and Facebook. You know how long I've been meaning to do a motherfucking origin story video? Bear Independent uploaded a video called Origin Story like a fucking year and a half ago with a green filter over the thumbnail. And I was like, yeah, I should do a whole... I didn't watch it. I was like, I'll watch this later. I'm gonna do my own little origin story video about how I ended up, you know, with the fucking conclusions, with doing what I'm doing, how I ended up here doing what I'm doing. Like, I just never got around to it. Because shit's turned into such a motherfucking rat race. Like, I can't even fucking enjoy some drinks. Stop pay attention to the news for like 2 days over the course of the fucking weekend, and I come back and it's like this whole new shitstorm that takes like, you know, like fuck. It takes like fucking 2 or 3 days worth of binge watching hours of shit to fucking catch up on and get to the bottom of. Like, I know that's a stupid complaint, but that's a weird one. Like, I shakes fist angrily. I've quit drinking totally. Like I just don't have time to fucking waste 2 days like fucking being drunk and then another day sleeping the fucking hangover off. I don't know, man. My goals are more demanding in the time. Economically too. It was wild. Like I recall the early Joe Biden presidency before things got so fucked, like year 1 and before. Well, I don't give a fuck. Anyway, so I'll say this on YouTube. Year 1 and before Joe Biden, fucking it was like barbecues, parties every day. You know, my area, Worcester, was pretty lit. And it was just awesome. And I don't know what the fuck happened, like, alright, like, I'll spend like $10 on fucking beers, you know? Get a bunch of tall cans and a bunch of nips. I'll spend like $10 on beers. And it's turned into this fucked situation where I spend like $10, $15 on beers. A maximum of $20 if I buy Gatorades is spent at the liquor store. $20, a few Gatorades, and beers and nips for me and a couple of friends. Fucking, and then I buy $30 worth of motherfucking, like, takeout. Buying a pizza and some fucking wings is like $35, $40. Food has gotten so expensive that that you can't even fucking like that's a crazy stoner way of fucking of realizing, of looking at shit and being like, you know, fucking there's so many examples. They want to tell you that inflation isn't real. There's so many examples. Like, it's crazy too. I talked to a older friend of mine the other day, and I was like, you remember the McDouble was a dollar menu item? And they're like, oh yeah, it used to be lit. Go down to McDonald's with like $10, get a whole bunch of McDoubles. Now, you get 5 McDoubles and it's like $25. Box of Tokitos used to be $5. Now it's $10. Popcorn chicken at Crown Fried Chicken down the street. Box of that, $5 back in the day. As long as I can remember, since I was a little kid up until fucking the last few years. Now it's like 10, it's like $11. I don't even think it comes with the free can of soda anymore. You know? So there are all these, and now that we're talking some crazy shit about $80 video games, $100 video games, and in case it, like, see, because I have like this backlog of shit that I should have been saying this whole time, like I've made a few posts where I'm like, why is the video game shit important, Green Hill Radio? Why do I share the fucking Gamers Theory 101 culture war? Why is the video game shit so important? Oh, because the video game, if we're seriously talking about fucking the movie industry is a national security issue, and we gotta tear foreign movies and do all kinds of stuff, we're seriously having these level of goofy conversations about our fucking movie industry. The video game industry dwarfs the movie industry like 10 times. The video game industry dwarfs the movie, TV, and music industry. Look it up, like 10 times. It's arguably one of our most important exports and industries in the United States. Multi-billion-dollar. Hey, weirdos in the government talking about, oh, if we shut the border and stop the drug trade, the economy will suffer because the drug trade's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Oops, did I say that out loud somehow? Hey, maybe if you politically correct BlackRock shareholding scuntbags left the fucking video game industry alone, maybe even, if the video game industry got some help, like, I don't know, maybe you could, if it wasn't so hampered, maybe you could make some fucking more money and you wouldn't be so worried about the drug trade, you weirdos. Like, so yeah, the video game, and not mentioned enough, as I mentioned in the Dragon Age Veilguard review, my reaction to Angry Joe's what did I call it? Substandard or whatever. You failed us, Joe. This was your moment. Now we're gonna have to wait for another moment. Who knows how long it could be? Hopefully the gamer rebellion has completely crushed the woke mind virus infestation. And it won't rear its ugly head again. And we won't need the angry army to respond. Seems like the collective gamer forces of YouTube and the will of gamers around the country crushed at least this wave of the woke mind virus infection. He had the substandard Dragon Age Veilguard review, where Joe failed to mention, like, he meandered about normal gameplay stuff that nobody actually gives a shit about, standard review stuff. I mean, if we ever get magic Harry Potter books and newspapers where the pictures are like GIFs and they fucking move around, we're gonna get a, next to the definition of avoiding the elephant or in the room, beating around the bush, even more like dancing around the elephant in the room, tiptoeing, is gonna be that, I'm sorry, bro, but it's gonna be that Dragon Age Veilguard review where you somehow got through like an hour-long review without mentioning the female-to-male trans top surgery scars in a medieval fantasy game. Absolutely the most brutal, disgusting implications are implied. Just it's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. Because it's probably one of the most evil, horrific things I've ever seen in my life. Honestly. From a propaganda, woke mind virus, MK altering the children sense, probably one of the most diabolical, evil things I've ever seen. You know, I mean, my grandpa, he didn't give a fuck. I was a little kid. He bought me Grand Theft Auto and the Suffering series on PlayStation 2. It wasn't nothing that brutal and evil in any of those games. We're not even talking about like a... I mean, God knows what kind of sick, evil, lunacy, what kind of hijacking of the reward centers of your brain. Because, you know, like a habit takes like 30 seconds or some shit, they say. So you hide whatever the fuck it is, so that it takes a lot, your cigarettes or whatever. And, you know, you make whatever it is difficult, so it takes longer than 30 seconds to do. And they say that gets rid of a habit, right? Like, so, this isn't just a stupid thought that came into somebody's head while drunk at the bar with the rest of the fucking BioWare or whatever company it was employees. And they were like, hey guys, you know it would be funny if we took this medieval fantasy game with knights in shining armor and ignored the potions and wizards that exists, and instead opted for putting surgical scars on the chest of a woman with her breasts removed. That would be funny, to imply that in medieval times some plague doctor mask having guy with a fucking set of, you know, the surgical kit that Robin Hood was bled with, fucking cutting the tits off. They would be like, you know, if you were demented enough for that thought to verbalize and escape your mouth, then the rest of the employees with you at the bar would have been like, no, are you a sadist? What the fuck is wrong with you? You know, right? Like, so that's why I'm wondering. Because you've seen how long it took me to verbalize that. Like, hey, let me try it again. Boil it down some more. Because I tend to be a bit wordy, right? Hey, guys. You know what would be a good idea? You know, it'd be funny if we took our medieval fantasy game with knights in shining armor, ignored the existence of wizards and potions, if you want to have the option to change genders magically, right? Divisive air quotes. And instead opted for scars. I mean, yeah, it takes basically 30 seconds, you know? So, and then your friends are like, if you didn't, like, how many stop gaps were broken in this process, right? Like, you didn't think that thought and then think, that's a stupid thought, I shouldn't say that. Then you got through that sentence and didn't regret saying it. And then, somehow, there were more people around you that also thought this was a good idea and didn't tell you to shut the fuck up? Where is this magical place? It must be super fucking crazy. What? And then, so this is like over the course of 5 minutes. And through that 5 minutes, maybe 10, nobody said, this is fucking dumb. And then it got even worse. Thousands of employees were tasked with programming this into reality. And there wasn't some kind of a conversation. Other managers were brought in, board members were made aware. You know what I mean? Like Alex Jones would come up with a crazy metaphor. He would hurt himself trying to come up with something for this. He'd be like, this is the equivalent. And then he would sit there and be like, for a second, like this is the equivalent of if, like, I don't know, like, you had 1,000 people in your way before fucking this up, right? 1,000 people had to sign on to this, had to fucking contribute some work to it. Like 1,000 checks and balances. Like, these guys went home from the bar that night and then didn't wake up in the morning. You know what I'm missing? I'm saying these guys. Right. That's the mistake. That's the mistake. These guys. No. These 300-pound lesbianic multicolored short hair having women with nose rings waddled to their Uber back from the bar that night, and no men told them that this was a bad idea, and they had enough sway in the company. That kind of breaks the funniness levels of it, though, because now we have a logical explanation, which we've seen multiple times demonstrated in pictures. But now we have a logical explanation. Yeah, you know, I'm going off on the fucking video game shit today. I was listening to the Alex Jones show the other day, and he backslided, you know? It's like a, I don't know what it is. With, like, and it's not an old people thing, because my grandfather's the one who got me into gaming, a fucking 80-year-old Air Force veteran who played flight simulators was like, let's buy a PS2, and fucking got me into Call of Duty and shit. So it's not an old people thing per se, but like people, I don't know. Like Alex had his moment there of progression with the fucking Alex Jones defeating the New World Order video game. And then he's backslid. Now gamers are just, you just want to play video. You know how, the whole list of dumbass criticisms. And it's basically like, it's the same shit that some kid who read too much back in the day had to hear. Oh, look at him, he fucking reads all day. Like, it's basically the same level of shit. And I love using this, and you can take this argument, this little paragraph here, and use it on whatever dumbass you want to use it on. Is it surprising in 2025 how often you encounter this dumbass attitude? In fact, I was talking to a guy about an overly expensive little piece of metal. $35. Comes with a compass, sewing kit, a sheath, fire starter. I'm pretty sure it came with some other stuff, but I bought this a while ago. I don't remember what else was in here. Either that or it was just empty space, and I remember being able to fit a knife sharpener in there too. Anyways, fucking you often encounter this dumbass attitude, oh, video games are a waste of time, that kind of shit. Why don't you do something productive or whatever the fuck? And I just answer that with, okay. Never read another fiction book again. Never read if you're going to read, it's going to be a technical manual, a science or history book. No fiction for you, that's a waste of time. Don't listen to any music. You don't get to listen to music. We don't get to play video games. You don't get to... Don, where's that music? That dun 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 dun. That music people were playing on those memes, where dun 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 dun. I can't believe it. But wait, fucking don't music for you? Sorry, sorry. No comic books either. Definitely none of those. What are you, crazy? No going to museums. Art, out of the question, unless it's like a historical picture that depicts some shit in history. Scratch that completely. No art. No movies. Waste of time. I love these people too. There's two groups of people, in a way. One less common than the other. My grandma was one of these kinds of people. She would sit there and she would read a book, a romance novel, a fiction book, all day long. A pointless ass book, too. And she'd read that book all fucking day long. And then she'd look up so funny, no concept of the irony at all. She'd look up from that book. She'd be sitting on the couch. Me and my grandpa would be sitting in recliners. She'd look up from that book and she would say, I don't understand how you guys play that video game all day. And it's the same thing. These people that fucking sit there, they'll watch TV all day for hours on end. Everybody's got their pointless thing, their pointless leisure thing that they do, right? So, I mean, arguably, you working on your car and the only reason why you want it to be fast is so you can drive around burning gasoline to no particular location, but just driving fast because it's fun. Oh, fucking, you're worse than me. At least my car only uses like, fucking 50 watts or some shit. Asshole, right? So don't talk to me about pointless fucking shit. Gosh. Yeah, basically, what do we got here that you're not allowed to do? Movies, TV shows, music, books, art, fishing, unless you're trying to feed yourself. If you're one of these people that fucking throws the fish back, stop doing that. You're wasting your fucking time, the fish's time, oxygen, bait, perfectly good bait. Waste of fucking time. Why do anything? Why do anything? Very quickly, this type of stupid ass logic slides downhill into why do anything? Why learn how to draw? It's just going to be something pointless somebody else is going to waste time looking at. Why learn how to write and structure sentences and a plot and make a good story? It's just going to be somebody else's pointless shit. Why? Why draw a design for a car body and come up with a fucking why? Gonna be somebody else's pointless waste of time. Why make a video game? Why come up with a story and the art and the gameplay mechanics for a game? Just gonna be somebody else's pointless waste of time, right? Oh, this video is all about facts and truth and how the government works and real shit, but fucking, like, I'm just so, so that's, and I'll boil that down into a short because it needs to be said more often. It's one of those things that needs to be, it's 2025. This dumbass fucking, oh, you're playing video games, nerd, fucking, this stupid ass shit needs to be fucking dead and gone like ages ago. It's ridiculous that we still have like the culture, despite the size that it is still young enough. The gaming culture, it's still young enough as to where it's treated like how movies were such a novel thing when they first came out back in the fucking early 1900s, late 1800s, the first films. That'll never catch on. People won't just sit there and watch a fucking that kind of stupid ass like Dungeons and Dragons level fucking, oh, the kids, maybe a more worse example. It's more closer to the movie thing. Like all the original gamers basically are still alive. Unless you were like my grandfather and you were already an old man when you started playing the PS2 and the fucking Atari and shit. So I guess that's what it is. Partially. And it's kind of like a high and mighty thing, too. I feel like a lot of people do. They like to, you need some kind of a scapegoat thing to point at and be like, the video games. And I don't know. I just think it's funny after coming out with a video game. It's like how... It's almost just like how you'll wake people up. This is why I'm kind of like saying we should combine. We should stop calling the liberals and libtards and all this kind of stuff. And just start calling them sleepers, the sleeping. Because, like, basically, back in the day, we used to have these arguments us conspiracy-minded truth movement people, back when we looked at both parties, Bush, Mitt Romney, Obama, Clinton, all scum, all New World Order trash. And so it didn't matter who you were talking to, Republican or Democrat, you were most likely dealing with an idiot that doesn't know shit and needs to be woken the fuck up, right? So now we're kind of like taking the Republicans under our wing and patting them on the head right now and being like, it's okay. No, you're not dumb. and we get to be like, ooh, hee, little enjoyment when we watch the little MAGA folks go out and attack the libs and call them retarded and shit all over them and troll them. Right? Because we know that they're totally fucking asleep. And at least our little MAGA dudes under our wing are somewhat awake. They're getting little, you know, drippings, little trickle-down wake-up-onomics coming down from the hardened core of the Trump support conspiracy truth movement. So they're finding out about shit, like they're not so disarmed and out of touch with reality as your average liberal who on a good day, like, you know, it's kind of funny too. Like, the libs have gotten so worked up and excited and deranged that I don't think, like, they're looking at us like we're fucking extreme when I feel like we're more relaxed than your Bush era Republicans. And I don't think the libtards we're facing now could deal, let's say us conspiracy guys weren't involved. I don't know, like you didn't have Alex Jones and you didn't have all us kind of guys. And so Trump was just like a normal Bush-style candidate with milquetoast Republican support. Conspiracy stuff like pre-Epstein, or pretend it doesn't exist or whatever, but you understand the dynamic. Like, I don't think the deranged libs, they're so hyped up and knee-jerk in their reactions to shit. I don't think that they could deal with even the early 2000s George W. Bush milquetoast Republicans. You know? Just as soon as you disagree with them in anything, they're just fucking... Like, if we time... Like, you know what I mean? If we time travel, teleported these two sides to whichever you want to go with. Transport the libs back in time or transport the conservatives into the future. And then put them together in fucking live chats and in debates and shit. I think what happens is, regardless of the difference between the two groups of conservatives from now and back then, the libs still go fucking crazy and pull their hair out and freak out. Like, it's not like we've gotten more extreme. Their cry bullying has intensified to a full-on exorcist level conniption fit, like a fucking 8-year-old in the middle of the toy aisle screaming. I remember when I was a kid, I used to look at other kids doing that shit and be astounded, like, nobody gonna beat this little motherfucker's ass? Like, should I go over and beat this little motherfucker's ass for somebody? Even as a kid, I mean, I was raised a bit different, but like, even as a kid, I had that level of logic. Side point. But yeah, like, I think they freak out regardless. Like, they don't realize that is their tactic. Troll to shut down debate, and when that doesn't work, freak out, act as if you are being physically attacked, and, words of violence, that kind of dumb shit. Cry bully. You're a racist. Didn't work. Worked for like a little bit. You're a Nazi. Kind of backfired because we figured out you're a racist, you're a sexist, we figured out all those ones. Now this fucking, so that's the play, troll, right? And then when that troll is broken and met with debate, cry bully. I don't know. I don't know. With that one, that just seems to be like a pattern. But like, yeah, they would if they were met with any time periods conservatives. It's not that we've gotten more extreme. Their cry bullying has gotten more intense. And Alex Jones backsliding on fucking video games. Yeah, and so what I was getting at with that was like, it's like when you have a lib friend or a sleeping friend and you have a real productive, good conversation with them where you feel like, wow, we made some progress. I woke them up a bit. And then you don't see them for a while. You don't see them for like a month or whatever. And they go back to watching the CNN and the mainstream media and the garbage TV, and they don't follow up and research shit. They don't go down the rabbit hole. And the next time you see them, it's almost as if it's like the previous conversation didn't happen. They've fully fallen back asleep. You almost have to re-wake them up, and it gets fucking tiresome. When you have older, so they're set in their ways, liberal friends, and you don't see them often, and they park ass in front of the fucking CNN and hypnotize themselves. I've witnessed this with people. Will they wake up a bit and then fucking backslide back to sleep over and over again? And it's like, holy fuck. It's like it's too hard to fucking, it's easier to just tell yourself that none of this shit is real and then create like a weird system of lies to justify that based off of a constructed bunch of bullshit that you were told authoritatively by some asshole wearing a suit on the TV. And so then the next time you see your friend that woke you up, then you're like resistant, and you gotta fucking like, you gotta have like the same conversation over again and re-outline that shit. It's crazy. Whatever the conversation was. That's why I like to start with really fucking basic shit with people, like fluoride. And I remember 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when nobody knew what the fuck that was. Somebody like me would get called crazy for talking about it. And like, it's amazing the progress we've made. But that used to be a difficult leap for people. It used to be rare to find people that knew about that. So you start off with some real basic shit like that, and you get them to accept reality in this small instance. Just cement that piece of fucking reality. Get that piece of the planet there manifested underneath your feet. Now firmly grasp it. Firmly grasp reality. Fluoride, bad. Fucking come on. Let let that NPC programming fucking be rewired for good. Once you cement that bedrock piece of foundation of reality in place, and it's really easy to go from there and be like, look, I see how you turn into Alex Jones and you just be in front of the camera, be like, now listen, sweethearts. After so many years of this shit, it just turns into this. Now listen, sweet. That's why I use that fucking emoji all the time. That emoji is either this face, because whatever I'm looking at is so fucked that I'm like, and there just isn't a good emoji for that face, or it's this face. Where I'm like, because I don't know. I don't know, man. But you go, now listen. What are you sitting on? Is that the car seat? What are your hands grabbing a hold of? Is that the steering wheel? Wow. What are you looking at? Is that the windshield? Okay. One might deduce from there that the rest of the car is real. Maybe you should read the owner's manual and familiarize yourself with the rest of the vehicle. And it's so funny to me that that's like a 15-year-old metaphor I came up with when I was like a fucking teenager. And it's like, you're talking to Satan worshippers and shit. And one of them's like, well, I don't believe in God, I believe in the devil. And I'm like, okay, bless your heart. You're grabbing onto the steering wheel now. If the devil is real, like, this is just, I don't know, I'm pulling out a relic that was made with, like, Kids Next Door ingenuity level brain power of teenage me. So, but it still applies. It still works good. That's why I still use it. But yeah, so I don't know what's up with Alex Jones backsliding. I was hoping he'd come out with another video game. Get Angry Joe to review it. Heard his video game wasn't particularly long anyway. I forget whose review of it I ended up watching. There were a few good reviews of it. But yeah. Got some video game videos to catch up with, by the way. Trump signing some bill or something. Trump saves video games. Elon said he was gonna tackle the woke mind virus in gaming. Yet to see any action on that level. I want to see him make his own console. I'm sure, because now, see, it would be really interesting because Microsoft and Sony are kind of locked into their orbit of a development cycle that they've maintained since the dawn of the console wars. And so they both come out at like the same time, basically. They try to follow each other. So that gives Elon extra development time. If he were to release a console, it would be lit. If he were to release a console, same price as the PS5, $500. And $500 and it being Elon, I think he could get some shit done there. And then you make a bunch of exclusives. I think he should do it. I think he should throw his hand in the console market. You really want to... I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the Tesla's been kind of underwhelming. If you want to be one of these companies that throws your hand into everything, you know, like Microsoft and Sony, then let's see you do it. We could use another American-based competitor. I shit on Xbox all day. I follow what's called the established order of gaming. Okay? This is like one of these things in the nerdedom. Not written down, but in the ethereal scrolls of the nerd realm. So it goes like this. PlayStation 2 over original Xbox. Xbox 360 over PS3. Fucking obviously. PS4 over Xbox One. It's not about being a fan of each of a console, or it's about just recognizing which console won the console war of that generation. So I'm impartial. I don't really give a fuck. I'm gonna get whichever one. Like I don't ride the hype train. I watch it, and then whichever console turns out to be the best one is the one that I get. It makes no sense to be sitting there going fucking like, do I want Microsoft to be successful in a little bit of a patriotic sense, the gamer division of it? Yeah, I mean, it's not like now circling all the way back, woo, bringing it around town, circling all the fucking way back to the Epstein shit. What happens to Microsoft when Bill Gates is implicated in the list? Does that fuck up the economy when this multi-billion-dollar corporation has its fucking founder, thrown in a hole, and the hole thrown away, hopefully, right? And what happens when multiple other large companies have this happen, right? And Alex saying in the previous episode I posted, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, him not believing that it would collapse the economy to have this happen. It would actually make things stronger, because we would have, number one, I don't think he got around to the rest of the explanation as to why. Or maybe he just didn't have a part two to that explanation. He said there would be a huge explosion of optimism. So, and trust in the system and the government to finally have had this cleansing moment. And that would revitalize things. Maybe not so many words, but that's basically what he said. And I was going to add to that and say what I think what would happen, and I think Microsoft is already up for this kind of stuff, or maybe it was Amazon, but I don't remember if we're getting Glass-Steagall, I think is how you say that, or Glass-Steagall, whatever the fucking antitrust act was. But I think what would happen, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, if a major shareholder or controller of a company like Bill Gates, I don't know, Bill Gates has Alphabet. I don't know if he runs Alphabet and through that runs Microsoft, but an antitrust kind of a situation, I would assume the company would break up. And you would have smaller companies, or even just the PR nightmare of it would cause the company to break up. And, so you have liquid assets. Just because a company breaks up doesn't mean that its infrastructure is gone. So you got all these studios and factories and shit. And so smaller companies are made from its ashes, creating a whole shitload of competition. So in that way, if it's done right, maybe Trump could create some kind of a committee, because I'm thinking about it like this, that we have this fucking now we know there's no physical list. We've all been saying that as we want a list. I've been looking at it like this loading bar of all the material that needs to be looked through and individuals need to be identified in order to create the list through all of the shit. And as that loading bar loads, right off the bat, we already know a bunch of people are, right? So we need to, I don't know how you could do it, find the government can't fucking take control of these companies. So I don't know how that would work. Because I'm thinking finding suitable candidates to assume control of these companies. I guess you just have to, let the chips fall where they fall. Free market. Whoever has the money and is left standing will fucking buy these companies. And things will continue. But yeah, ultimately, what I think happens is actually a good thing. We may have a shaky fucking couple of months there, I don't know. Microsoft is such a force in our economy. Just Microsoft breaking up into a few smaller companies and having competition, and you have the fucking video game company no longer obligated to the fucking rest of it. I think that would create a bunch of competition. Elon comes in at the same time. Second video game company. And that's just one example. Overall, though, it's an insane... I guess I'm going to end the video here. Overall, it's an insane proposition to say, oh, we can't fucking expose this list of the elite's global pedophile network, because if we don't have these pedophiles in positions of power, things will fall apart. What kind of motherfucking madness being held hostage situation is that? What kind of motherfucking sheer lunacy is that? That's fucking madness. You wanna fix the economy. What do you fucking mean? You can push the fucking Tetris blocks around all you want in order to make the shell game, in order to make the you can adjust the shrubbery in the Potemkin village all you want in order to make it look better, but it's still a shell game. You know? Like, I don't know a good metaphor for this, but you understand what I'm saying? Like you can't, until this control system is removed, you can't do anything. None of the shit, and it's not gonna last. And it's like having a motherfucking, it's like being covered in parasitic leeches and saying, well, we're just gonna fucking, work out and eat more, and that'll solve the problem. We're just gonna fix the economy. Think about that. Fix the economy while you have these people in positions of power where they could profit from said fixed economy. And the whole damn wackadoo fucking Israel situation, that's some major nutcasery. And yeah, I agree with, I think it was Owen Schroyer said in one of his recent broadcasts, he was like, well, as far as Israel's influence on us, nothing was really going on as much in the first term, so we didn't really get to see that come into play like we are now. Our CIA and Israel's intelligence agencies it's kind of crazy, like after watching all of Ted Gunderson's lectures and stuff, or most of them, like, to think that this kind of, and a lot of the conspiracy files episodes on military intelligence and the occult, like, I don't know, it's just wild to think of like a guy like Ted Gunderson back in the day warning about this kind of stuff, talking about this kind of stuff, maybe scratching the surface of it, maybe seeing the beginnings of it develop. Years later, we got this kind of a situation going on. Well, yep, I've basically hit all the points and things I was thinking about to hit in this video. Like and subscribe. check out the group on Facebook. Basically, curate like so many, search far and wide, casting the largest net that would make Poseidon blush, researching and looking for the best videos. And so it's just like a nice fucking, you know, concentrated dose of all the stuff. You know, thinking about it, like Truth Stream Media, a lot of my favorite channels existed years before. I don't know, it's just kind of crazy to think about, like, years before I discovered them. You could go your whole life without discovering, like, some channel that you'd really love, and it would blow your fucking mind, and you learn a lot of stuff. So I just kind of I like this sort of concentration we got going on here in the group, where we're all sharing this kind of stuff. There's this clip of fucking Ghost in the Shell where a bunch of people are around a table having a conversation about some fucking investigation or whatever, and they're just like trying to get to the bottom of things, and it's a fun vibe. I was gonna share having an Alex Jones moment. Where's that clip? Having a Joe Rogan moment. Anyways, like and subscribe. Check out the group on Facebook. Check out the Gamers Theory 101 page, and in the other channel. Have a good day. Happy hunting the New World Order.